Now here's the thing. Since we're at PodCamp, it could be that you prefer podcasting over the other choices. The question is whether that's the medium that will build trust the most in your target market. Because sometimes what we like isn't necessarily the same as what our target market would prefer. And we'll just look at some samples of success, because I want to show you that the things that that we'll be looking at are things that I've actually been using and have achieved some results with. Now, I'm recording this session, so if the quality turns out to be good, then what I'll do is I'll post it online, and that way, and also the slides, etc. So that way, you can have a copy of this under the Creative Commons type of approach that we use at these conferences. So this is what happened last year. I got interviewed in the Toronto Star, and then also in the Globe and Mail. I got invited to speak at a conference that I'd wanted to speak at for many years. You may not have heard of this conference, but you may be aware of some of these speakers. So Ted Rogers was a speaker at the very first version of this conference, which was 21 years ago. He's not with us anymore, so last year it was his son Ed, people like Mitch Joel, etc. And so I got invited to that based on the kinds of things that we're talking about today as mechanisms. Toronto Board of Trade. They have an annual Business Excellence Award, and last year there were 49 nominees in 8 categories, and there was only one person from financial services. Now, I ended up losing, but that's okay, because it turns out the grand prize in this contest was that UPS would ship you to Paris in a box. And so I think I'm okay not having won that particular contest, but it was nice to be considered. And it just shows that there are things that you can achieve just doing simple things when people can see what you are doing and believe that what you're doing is of value. Now, I have been podcasting for about 3 years. I do one a week, and so there are about 150 episodes. Wow. Now, do you think that those successes came because iPods come in so many shapes and colors? Do you think it's because journalists have no deadline, so they can just spend hours and hours listening to podcasts and then investigating who they want to interview? Or do you think it might be related to blogs, where in just a few minutes they can scan lots of different blogs? In the time that it takes you to listen to one podcast, how many blogs could you read? Hyperlinks are the currency of the internet. Do podcasts have hyperlinks? It's difficult for some of those things to work. Now, it could be that podcasting is the ideal mechanism for you because maybe you prefer talking, but you may find that that isn't the ideal medium for you to achieve trust. Now, this is where we'll have our discussion so that we can, because what I've seen in a lot of the sessions this weekend is that there's been a lot of presenting, and people have just been sitting and taking